So guys, what a great game. That was so fun. I mean, we just had played one of our best games ever there. The amount of energy we had in that game, how everybody was contributing, and it was just so much great teamwork out there. Again, I think we just stepped it up. Last week I said it was our best game yet. I think we outdid ourselves. That was another great game. So let's get to our stars, and then I can tell you a little more about details of the game. So let's start with Wilson. So Wilson, running the point guard position, you did a great job of handling everything that's thrown at you as far as when they put pressure, you were able to get by them or know when to pass out of the pressure. You also did a lot better job this game of handling how to get to the basket without driving into defensive collapse where you get to kind of get stuck. You did a good job of working your way around the defender to get to the basket, using a little bit of a fake jab step type thing. It worked well. You did a great job with that. You pulled down a decent amount of rebounds, and during the game, being point guard position, you still got in there, got those rebounds, and then again getting points. I think they say you have 10 points in the game, so that's great. So what you did as far as the point guard position on the offensive end, you're going to get the offense award this week. Good job, Wilson. Next, Mason. Mason, you gave us another great week of effort out there of trying hard and just giving it your all. But I also want to talk about how well you carried yourself out there when things didn't go as well. It's like you had some collisions out there. You kept a good attitude about it. I mean, you both hit the ground a lot of times, and it's still you just got up. You even try to help other players up off the ground. You did a good job of being a good teammate and being a good player out there. You did grab some rebounds. You got your points. Did an awesome job with all that jumping in there, getting steals, deflections. Pulled together a really strong game. But what I want to give you credit for this week is Christ-like award, because I wanted how you handled yourself during those tough times and how helping other people out. So you get the Christ-like award. Good job, Mason. Next, Jimmy. I guess, Jimmy, if you want to, you always give all that effort out there. You always try really hard. You have all that energy. But what I really, what maybe classify this game is maybe your coming out game. It was your breakout game. You always are playing hard out there, but a lot of that came together to a nice package in this game. You got 6 points, some great looking baskets. You grabbed rebounds, which again, being a smaller player, getting there, getting those rebounds. You did a great job of getting those steals and deflections, jumping into those pass lanes, grabbing a ball, either passing off or heading down for a fast break. It's just a really good package of game that you gave us, Jimmy. And with that, I actually want to give you the offensive award because how you stepped up that part of your game this last time, I want to really recognize that. Good job, Jimmy. Next, Ethan. Ethan, you did another strong game of getting those rebounds. I think you led the team with 8 rebounds. That's great. I saw you jumping in there a couple times. The ball wasn't really in your spot, but you jumped toward it, grabbed that rebound, made sure it was yours, and was strong with the ball. That's exactly what we're asking of you. Getting a steal, deflection, this kind of steals, but just following the ball, knowing where to be, and getting into the either passing lanes to prevent the other team from doing stuff or trying to get to the right spot on offense to be helpful. So, and then with that, you actually, get 4 points. And some of that's due to the hustling down the court on fast breaks, releasing, getting down there, or even on breaking the press, knowing where to be the person for them to pass the ball to down the court, and then getting a shot off. So with all that, I want to give you the effort award because you had a great package of just being where you need to be and trying really hard out there. Good job, Ethan. Daniel. So Daniel, you had a good, strong game of helping out on your defensive assignments, covering the lane, stopping the players from coming through. You racked up a couple fouls, but if you watch that video, a lot of those fouls because you were getting up in the shooter's face and trying to stop that shot. And they called a foul on it, but it doesn't really matter in our eyes. You did your job of getting in there and making sure they didn't have an easy shot, so that was great. You got jump ball and got the rebounds, and just how you carried yourself out on the court and working with your team, encouraging others, talking on the bench and stuff like that. Actually, I'm going to give you the Sportsmanship Award this week, Daniel, for those things. Thank you, Daniel. Cooper, you did a great job out there. I can't just ignore the fact that you went on a nice little hot shooting spree of three-pointers after you start off the game a little cold on the three-pointers, but eventually they kicked in and you were feeling it and you just nailed those three-pointers. That was very helpful for the team and it looked really nice. But then you also worked on the offensive end of help sharing the ball, looking down the court for the fast break releases. That was very helpful too. So you did rack up 11 points with your shooting. You got some rebounds in there, so you're fighting down low, getting some steals, and then also just what you did on our defensive end on the trap, working with Benjamin and I think Wilson there too, working on our as soon as they cross half court, getting that two-person trap on those players. You saw that we really caused problems in their game, and that was great. So with all that, Cooper, actually going to give you the effort award because of all the package together and how hard you worked out there to pull that off. Good job, Cooper. And last we have Benjamin. So Benjamin, again, that energy you bring out there, you showed all the hustle, and I saw that you used some of the jab step and go that we worked on in practice right before. You pulled it off, you did great, driving to the basket, that was great. But also, some of the parts I want to also bring out, like I just mentioned on Cooper's, was helping out on that trap. When they come across half court, being in their face, keeping them from getting the ball where they needed to be. Second, you're running as hard as you can down the court, stopping their fast breaks from getting to the basket. So that was great there too, because you kept them from getting a nice easy layup and deflecting their direction where they're going because you just were hustling really, really hard. So because of everything you did on stopping them from scoring, I'm actually going to give you the defense award for that this week. Good job, Benjamin. So like I said, this was one of the best games I think we played. It's a high energy game. I mean, I'm sure if you rewatch the clips that I sent to you, you'll probably see it too, but everybody else watching the game saw this too. Is just a ton of energy out there. The defense, we were relentless on that. Their team was getting super frustrated, and I think I didn't necessarily see it when I was during the game, but apparently their point guard, who was expecting to be able to do everything, he was just frustrated. He couldn't do anything because our defense was just shutting them down. So our pressing did awesome during the game. We had the trap. The trap did great about stopping there and driving to the basket, and just defense in general. We did a great job of reading passes, jumping in that passing lane, seeing where those open passes are, but knowing that we could get there in time to get the ball if they throw it. And then when they do pass it, our guys would jump in there and grab it, and then we'd be off for a fast break. So definitely our defensive end on that. And then also the hustle. And this goes on hustling on defense, on hustling back. And I mentioned that on some of the stars was when they're doing fast break. And if you watch the game or the clips of the game, we were sprinting down there after them enough that they didn't have any easy fast breaks. And that was great. It really stopped their game. So then on the offensive end, things that I thought really, really well, and I really didn't think you guys were going to be able to incorporate this into your skills or into the game right away, but things we went over in practice, the jab step and go the other way, I saw multiple players doing that and it worked, and you guys did a great job. So keep that up, put it into your normal ball handling. Think about that when you got the ball to fake one way, step, and then go the other. And I even saw a couple of the pump fakes and then step through shots or just pump fakes and go. Again, I was very happy that you were able to pull that off. Just keep it up and your game will improve greatly. So there really isn't a whole lot that I want to say we want to work on, but I think there is one thing you probably would guess is we need to work on breaking the press. We laid off the throttle a little bit on our defense because for sportsmanship we didn't want to keep on hounding them on defense. But as soon as they stepped up their defense and did full court pressure, our game really kind of dropped a bit. So we do need to work on our breaking the press. we what happened during the game was our point guard, our 1 and 2, were mainly just running randomly trying to get open. We did have a press break, and for that reason, it's set up that you start together and then immediately would, let's call it, randomize your break off and run to the sides. That'll give you a slight advantage to get that pass in. If you're already just standing there and you're randomly running, it doesn't help. It just actually makes it a little easier for them to keep up with you. So we need to work on getting to the free throw line as soon as the ball goes out of bounds for getting ready to be thrown in. The 1 and 2 go sit up that free throw line. And if they end up not pressing, then it's no big deal, and then we head back. And then our 4 and 5 are actually around the half court line, and depending on which one is necessary, if needed, one of them would sprint in for kind of a last resort toss in. And actually, it did work once. Mason, I think I saw him sprinting in, got the ball because the 1 and 2 couldn't get the ball. Got it to Mason. Mason then turns, and then I think it might have been Ethan, might have been on the far end of the court. He didn't, Ethan didn't come down too, because if everybody comes down the court, it doesn't work. But one of the posts, which was this case Mason, went down, got the ball. Ethan stayed down and actually worked closer toward our basket. Mason brought the ball, tossed it down to Ethan, which nobody was guarding because everybody was on their team was pressing. Then Ethan had an easy shot on the other end. So we started to do it a little bit right, but we need to work on the guards getting their press break down good, and that would really help us because we got some tough games coming ahead in the tournament, I believe, and maybe even next week. So we need to make sure we don't fall on press. And the last thing I just want to say is, and we kind of go over this a couple times already, is we need to kind of work on our passing. We had some errant passes or some poor choice passes where we lazily were working around the 3-point line on offense, and we didn't read that there was a defender there that could jump right in the way and get it. Just because we see our player there holding his hand like this, the defender's right here, he's going to jump in and get that. So, if nothing else, pump fake, work it, or if you're the offensive player that's holding your hand out for that pass, do the zigzag or the V cut where you go down and then you come back to give you that little extra room to get the ball. Don't just stand there with your hands still. Because we had some turnovers like that, and those are ones we should be able to stop. And just, getting more knowledge on the court and getting more comfortable, we'll get those. So, but really, overall, game was great. If we keep improving like this, I just can't wait to see what next week is. So, I'm very proud of you guys, and I'll see you next week.